Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all the latest news that happened during the week of mobile. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comments section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Now, before I do start this show, I really have to give a shout out, which I normally don't do, but a company did something they really didn't have to, and it was just a really nice gesture in the midst of all this. So, if you remember, I think it was around November when we reviewed this, the Killa Bee. Put this up a little bit. The Killa Bee gaming chair. This is the chair that I sit on pretty much every day since I've reviewed it. So it is my daily driver chair, and the spokesperson for it reached out to me and actually sent us a bunch of masks for my company and for like basically all of our employees. So I gave, I kept some for me and my family, gave some to my editors, and going to give the rest to a hospital nearby. But I just wanted to give a special thanks to them. If you wanted to check out their chairs, go ahead and check out. The link is in the description. But really nice gesture. I mean, company is doing that is just awesome, and so I have to give a shout out. It's really nice quality ones too. It's the N95 mask, which are really supposed to help you with respiration. So overall, it's a good cover, and it just really feels good quality. So yeah, I have to say, I mean, thank you so much to Killa Bee Gaming Chairs for that gesture, and it was just something that I wanted to give a shout out to them because that was just a really cool thing. So yeah, thank you so much, and really awesome for companies that are reaching out and doing things. I feel like more and more companies are doing nice gestures, like on commercials and saying things like that. But it's something else when you actually see action done. So I really do appreciate them for that. All right, now let's get on to the news. So first in line for the news is one that I followed all the way to the source, and unfortunately, it seems legit. So, it looks like, unfortunately, I hope this isn't true again, but Samsung is no longer going to have an S Pen on the Galaxy Fold 2. They have decided to drop it. Now, Phone Arena here kind of seemed to imply by what they heard from the Herald, which I don't believe so, is that it could be because of weight, and I think that would be the stupidest thing ever. Just because, why? Like, I would gladly take a heavier Fold 2 if it had an S Pen. No problem with that. I don't think anyone would have a problem with that, as a matter of fact. If you had the choice between a heavier phone with an S Pen or no S Pen, I think anyone would choose to have an S Pen. But basically, this is supposed to be lighter than the Fold 1, which instead of 247, it's supposed to be 229. Again, I wouldn't care about the weight. The other things that it's supposed to have is a bigger front screen, which we kind of did expect, of course, just because of just how it panned out before. The front screen was probably the weakest feature of the Fold, in my opinion. And it will drop in storage size to 256 instead of 512. Now, they are also speculating that that will drive down the price at least by $100 to even $200. Again, I expect the Fold 2 to be in the price point of $1,500 to $1,600. I think that is what not the quality has gone down, but that basically the parts have gotten cheaper and easier to manufacture. So as that goes on, you get cheaper cost to manufacture, which then goes on to customers, and that's why prices drop after you have the first batch, like the like the Note Edge and the S7 Edge were rather a little bit more expensive, and then it went down and down, and then all of them had the curved screens after a while because it was just cheaper to manufacture. So with this, I expect the same. I do expect it to be 1,600 most likely is where I bank the price on being, but I have to admit that without an S Pen, the Galaxy Fold 2 enthusiasm on my point is really disappointing, to be quite honest. Like I don't care as much. Yes, it's also expected to be an 8-inch instead of the 7.3-inch, which I do think that it needed to do, definitely. But I just, I really, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. For me, this kind of really kills my enthusiasm. I was so excited to have a Fold with an S Pen. Maybe when it comes out, it changes my mind. And honestly, if it's very similar to the Note 20, I probably will go with the Fold instead. But we'll have to wait and see. Um, I am still I'm trying to give Samsung as much time as possible, but I'm at the point where I'll do the review for the S20 Plus. I mean, we've had so many updates and it's still not fixed. So, the Ultra is worse, which I'm glad I didn't keep it. I know some people have it and haven't had issues with it, but all in all, it's having a lot of issues. With the latest update, they had to stop it. So it's having a lot of issues. So I really wanted the Note 20 and the Fold 2 to wow me, and I just don't know if they will anymore. Speaking of the Note 20, we now have confirmation that the battery for the standard Note 20 will be the same as the standard S20, that being 4,000 milliamp battery. I again am a little disappointed in this. Now, the Note from last year had a 3,500, so this is still a bump up from the Note 10 from last year. But for me, the Note should not be in line with the S series. It should always be better than the S series. So I would have liked to see a 4,500 battery on the Note 10 and the the Note 20 and the Note 20 Plus to have a 5,000 milliamp battery. Now, as of right now, we don't know if the Note 20 will even have a 5,000. It's looking like it more likely will have a 4,500, which if it does, it's utterly disappointment. It's just, you cannot have the S20 Ultra have a better feature than the Note 20, Note 20 Plus, Note 20 Ultra. Like, whatever the highest end one will be, I'm really going to be quite upset if it has at least not a 5,000 milliamp battery to match the S20 Ultra. But yeah, so we now know the Note 20 will be a 4,000 milliamp battery, which again is a 5,000 500 milliamp jump from last year's Note 10. So it's still a good update compared to last year's model. But it's on par with the standard S20, which again I just think is a little disappointing. Yes, it means that the batteries have gotten bigger overall, but it also means, by the way, that we're not getting graphene batteries in this. It's definitely going to be pushed till next year, it looks like, because graphene batteries can have a higher milliamps while being smaller, which the first graphene batteries we can expect is definitely closer to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, because you can fit double the milliamps in the same size battery. So definitely no graphene batteries coming this year. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you okay with the Note 20 being a 4,000 milliamp battery? Also, what do you expect the Note 20 Pro or Note 20 Ultra, whatever they call it, what do you expect that one to be? Do you expect the Plus to have a 4,500 or a 5,000 milliamp? Again, for me, it's definitely 5,000 because that's what the Ultra had, and this should not be in any way, shape, or form less than the Ultra. Then we go to the iPhone SE. So I did a video that, some people didn't like and some people did like overall with it. And that was basically the iPhone SE and how it did change everything for the better. If you did not check that out, I am not one to thank Apple. But this week I did do a video on thanking Apple because it was such a benefit for them to do. But now let's actually compare it to the iPhone 8, because I hated that a lot of YouTubers, even MKBHD and a lot of other ones, kept saying like, oh my God, Apple's changing the game because they've never had a phone anywhere near this price point. MKBHD actually said they never had a new phone you could buy that was under 600, and that's not true. Last year, the iPhone 8 was in their lineup for $449. The year before that, the iPhone 7, $449. So this is a $50 price difference. But to say that Apple's never had one in the same range or under 500 is not true. Now, they obviously updated it, definitely, but let's go over just what they updated in comparison. So this is what we're going to be taking a look at. So first of all, the iPhone SE does have the newest processor from last year's iPhone 11. Now, because of the timing of this, it's actually the best processor you can get on an iPhone right now. The iPad has a better one, but the iPhone, this is the best processor you can get. And that really is, commendable. Like, you do not see that, like a Samsung A series phone coming out with a Snapdragon 855. No, they come out with the 768 or whatever processor. They come out with lower tier processors. And this is something that Apple does very well. Obviously, if you make all your own, it's a lot easier. It's why Samsung does Exynos on almost all their A series. So it is something that does stand out a lot in Apple's favor. Portrait mode on the SE, phones have had that for years. Mid-rangers have had that for years, so not a big deal. Dynamic range for 30 frames per second video and sound recording, again, that's not big of a deal comparing to it. Obviously, for an iPhone user, it's big, but I've had that for a long time. HDR on the iPhone SE, the iPhone 8 didn't have it. That is a big thing, though, too, because of the fact that, again, for HDR to be that good on an entry-level one, well, only Pixel really has that. No plus size model, the iPhone 8, you had the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. No 3D touch, it's only haptic feedback now, so that's one thing that the iPhone actually lost on the SE. Dual SIM card, so you have the Nano as well as the eSIM, and then also you have faster connectivity. The iPhone 8 was very dated with their LTE. You could not get especially with like T-Mobile, you didn't even have the 600 megahertz spectrum, so it was very slow in comparison. So this is a much faster, and it even has Wi-Fi 6. So that is going to be the difference in terms of it. Then let's also compare it to the other flagships out there. So in the similar price range, you have the Pixel 3a, you have the Galaxy A51, you have the Moto G Stylus. These were all, two of these are less than, the Pixel 3a is the oldest one that will be replaced soon. But the A51, I believe, was at CES, and the Stylus was just announced. So let's go between them. So in terms of lightweight, it looks like the Pixel's lightest, but all of them are pretty light. The iPhone definitely has the smallest screen, and there really is no Android, I think, that has that small of a screen anymore, or anywhere near it, to be quite honest. The iPhone is still only a 720p display. I think that's something that really doesn't get talked about as much, as where obviously every Android has been 1080p and forever. The one really thing I find disappointing that Apple didn't do, but I get it, it's just to save costs, and that is that it's still an LCD. The Pixel 3a is an OLED, and so is the Samsung. That is really important because you get much better battery life with an OLED over an LCD, especially with all the night modes and dark modes that you have now in comparison. Storage, 64, 128, so more storage on that side, bigger batteries, obviously, comparing to the iPhone. In terms of camera, so here's the thing. Obviously, camera specs are very misleading because software is going to be the biggest thing that obviously changes everything around. So the iPhone and the Pixel pretty much dominate this category. I will say that the A series is getting better, but still not the best. Or again, the Pixel is just the best one overall camera because of its processing power. Moto is not that good, and again, the A series is okay. Megapixels in the front, obviously Samsung has a lot, but again, that's pixel bending, and so far it hasn't been that good on the selfies. In terms of RAM, same across the board. Apple actually now has the best Wi-Fi 6, comparing to all of these other models. So that's, again, a very important thing, I think, to point out. And again, Lightning and IP68, or IP67 rather, which you do not have water-resistant ratings on any of the other ones. And again, one thing I will say is that all the other ones still have a headphone jack, which you don't have on the iPhone. So that's just a little bit of comparison about how they compare to everything else. And then let's go to the LG Velvet. Now, LG just released their own official video. You can check it out. I think it's called LG Velvet Design, so you can go ahead and check it out. But I will say, especially in the video more than anything else, these cameras look so beautiful. So what LG did is each one is actually bigger going small. So you have a bigger one here. This one is actually bigger than the third one, and then the Flash is the smallest one. It's so well done, like it really looks elegant. But here's the interesting part about this is this phone, although it's, stunning and beautiful to look at, it's actually going to be a mid-ranger, it looks like, because you are getting 5G, but you're getting a Snapdragon 765. So this isn't, going anywhere near their LG V60, which is at 899 or 799, depending on the carrier, I believe. No, it's 899. But it really is going to be, more towards the mid-range. Now, this can be very interesting for LG to really have a hit win because, to be quite honest, LG was third for a long time in the US specifically, but that spot has definitely been taken over in the US by Google and by OnePlus. And I really think LG has the capability in every which way to get back up there, and I want to see them compete. I love competition. So I really could not wait to see what LG is going to come up with. I think it looks really good looking, and I'm very curious because I'm curious to see what price point it will be at. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, but yeah, just very curious to see how it goes. Alright guys, that was the news for the week. Now let's get to your questions. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Hopefully everyone is doing well and being safe out there. And yeah, let me know your questions. Now I will have to wear my glasses because I just realized I can't really see the screen that well without it. I have to take my handy dandy cloth. Yeah, how are you guys doing out there? Let me know what you went out for this week. If you went out at all, what did you go out for? Market, gas, let me know what you went out for. All right, so iPhone 12 top of the line. So iPhone 12, what would it be? iPhone 12 Max Pro? Yeah. iPhone 12, top of the line model, will not come out till November, I'm hearing. I'm hearing that too. Again, I had said that for a little while now that it looked like Apple was going to be delayed 2 months, more than a month now, but we would have to see, and November falls in line with that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. As far as I know, the factories aren't up and running yet either, or at least if they are, they're running at not full capacity. So we'll have to wait and see just how things keep progressing. China obviously was one of the biggest ones hit, and although some parts have opened, then parts closed down again. So we'll have to wait to see how everything kind of moves along when it comes to that. I'm in HVAC. We're running low on mask and gloves. Got it. Hope you're doing okay, man. Be safe out there, and definitely, that is for sure, gotta kind of help out as much as can. Is buying the PS Network year membership worth $36 for the year? I'd buy it. I usually buy it just to have it and, use it here and there depending on. But yeah, I mean, I buy it every year. I honestly, I use it here and there. I wonder if I should. Now you're questioning. Now I have myself questioning it because I'm not much of a gamer as I once was. I have only played like 8 hours of Final Fantasy VII, and that is a game that I love. But honestly, with the work days I've had, I've been pretty exhausted, and I try to spend time with the family. So then, game comes in last. Especially, I'm trying to do better at YouTube. I feel like I have slacked off way too much of that. And I see last year when I had so much content because YouTube was my only job. My channel was booming. Like my channel was doing so well, and I was cranking out videos at least 5 a week, and I was really proud of that. But since I had to take up full-time jobs and besides this, I really have slacked on the content. I want to do better. Um, Luckily, in this new field of marketing that I'm in, I'm kind of learning how to help my own channel at the same time. I'm learning a lot about Google Ads and have a Note 10 Plus. I use the camera, has scan options, screen optimizer when scanning documents, but it scans, but no options to adjust and save the photo image. Um, YouTuber video show. It depends on your carrier how much it has changed. So just keep that in mind. It really does depend on that. Um, but yeah, so that's the thing. Your carriers could have changed what's actually on there. If it's an unlocked one, that's kind of weird. But usually carriers will have different versions of some of the software because it doesn't fall in line with what they want or nonsense like that. I wouldn't mind storage drop. I mean, you could always put an SD card in. Exactly. I'm glad I stuck with my S10 Plus. Yeah, it's obviously still really great fun to go with. All right. Let's see. It's been raining quite a bit here. Just been keeping my dogs calm. They really don't like the rain. My dog hates thunder or fireworks. Like I really always feel bad for my dog when she has to go through Fourth of July or New Year's or anything like that. But yeah, it hasn't been raining here at all. I actually don't know, Question. What area are you in? I know Alex is in New York, but I don't know what area you're in. But yeah, we have not seen that much rain for sure. I'm an essential healthcare worker and I've been working all week, but on the weekend, my time off, I only made a run to the grocery store and Walmart, pick up some essentials. Good, and thank you for all you're doing. I actually, not to get political here or anything like that, but I brought up something to my wife the other day and I was just like, it really is something that I feel like healthcare workers after this, I think it at least should be looked into getting some of like, you know, if it does go on, say if it went on for the full year, right? Say if it went on for the full year, I think it should be discussed, some kind of veteran status, or at least some of the benefits. That's just me. Again, not to get political here, but I mean, it's just thank you guys so much for everything you're doing. It's like it really is like, going out there and doing so much. So I appreciate it, at least to say the least. Stadia, worth it? I have not games in 20 years. Where do I start? Thanks. Um, I would not say it's worth it. I literally have the Stadia controller in one of these drawers, and I have not used it. I literally have it here. Have not used it. Don't care to use it. It wasn't the best controller, first of all. Like, I really didn't care for the grip of it. I felt like it was too curved in the way it did it. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't the best controller starting off with, and I don't know. I don't like the system. Like, I think if I buy a game, I should keep it, and that's about it. But I don't think I should pay a membership for it, even though this temporary one. So yeah. Hi, Ricky. I'm in Australia and I'm waiting to know if you have any knowledge on Australia's market, iPhone versus Android, Samsung sales and usage. No, I don't. I really don't have knowledge of another country's sales or usage. I've looked up things before, but I haven't looked up Australia's or anywhere recently. So yeah, no, I don't have it in terms of that. Why don't you tell me what do you normally see? Do you normally see most people with iPhones or with Android or Samsung? I mean, Android globally eclipses Apple by far. Like Apple is not even a blimp in the worldwide ecosystem. But in the US, Apple dominates by far. So it's very different in the US more than any other country, just because Apple is the biggest presence here, whereas in most other countries, the majority of the other countries, Android is entirely dominant. So it's very different in the US more than anything else. Let's see. It was inevitable OnePlus would have to compete with flagships, saying flagship killer from the start was really false marketing in my view, but the prices are now flagships. Yeah, in terms of that, I really, before the news broke about the Fold 2 and everything like that, I was going to name this weekly. Um, Apple releases a budget phone and OnePlus releases a flagship price phone because that's what it really is. And here's the thing, like there are phones out there that have taken OnePlus's place, in my opinion, and that are cheaper and give you more things. One phone that I would say to look out for that is going to rival OnePlus 8 Pro spec for the most part, or at least OnePlus 8 definitely, is the Red Magic 5G. And that one is going to have a better refresh rate. It has 144 hertz refresh rate. It's a gamer phone, quote unquote, but I mean, for me, I'm just looking at a better overall phone. Maybe not with the camera, but that's the big thing that like it really OnePlus I feel like is just an everyday one, and they're trying to get more profit, which kudos to them in that, but they're doing it at the expense of their base audience. And I think they don't understand their audience. I really truly do believe that OnePlus doesn't understand their audience. Because yeah, they wireless charging should have been there for a while. People were asking for it for years. They finally brought it. But then it's like a janky version of wireless charging. They're pulling an Apple again. And by that, I mean you have a crappy wireless charger, a 5-watt wireless charger for any other wireless charger you use. But if you use theirs, then you have a 30-watt wireless charger. Why couldn't you put a 10-watt, 15-watt wireless charger receiver in there? Why not? Why didn't the OnePlus 8 have a wireless charger as well? These are things that, again, is just is not consumer friendly. It's not made for consumers. It's made for them and their bottom dollar. So I was really upset to see that overall, but we'll have to see how OnePlus does this time around. I don't know if it will sell till they have better sales. Not to mention that I'm really quite upset that the iPhone 8, the OnePlus 8 is the only one that T-Mobile carries, because obviously I would want to trade in or get a killer deal for trading in my McLaren, but I have no deal for trading in my McLaren for the Pro, which is what I would want to do, right? I'm not going to trade in my McLaren for an 8 because that's a downgrade, actually, for the most part. So that is just kind of like, it's the reason I'm not currently getting it. I'm waiting to see if OnePlus has a better deal. But as far as I can tell, OnePlus does not have a trade-in program for their built-in website. And if they changed it since, the last 2 days or 3 days, let me know. But as far as I know, their main website doesn't have one. So I was kind of upset by that because, well, now I can't get the Pro for T-Mobile. So I'm either stuck with not upgrading because I have the McLaren and I have no reason to upgrade to an 8. So I would just wait till the end of the year for their next version of the McLaren coming out, or their 8 Pro T, whatever they call it. So yeah, that it was disappointing for me, I would say, and I think they are changing, and we'll see how they go. We'll see how they go. I think they don't understand the culture of the U.S., and I think they need help with that. And I think they should ask, people that know it, to help them with that. But yeah. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. Okay. Let's see. Coffee break, everybody drink. Yeah. Sorry for it freezing. Again, my internet, I don't know if it just went down or what happened, but it was just my laptop was not connected. And I have my fans going, so I was making sure of that. Let's see. Why am I still here? Well, I'm glad you stayed. Um, should I buy the Galaxy Z Flip with my stimulus check? LOL, JK. No. I am gonna do a budget phone video coming up, and these are phones that I think the highest will be around 500. So I'm gonna be doing that because one, no one should spend their entire stimulus check on a phone. Like, just don't do that, please. It is to stimulate the economy. That's what this is for. That is what this is for. Even though obviously people should be doing paying bills and things like that with it, right? But again, not to get into politics. But I'm gonna do a budget phone. So like, say if your phone broke or you just want a new phone or anything like that, I'm gonna do a budget phone review. So kind of like these 10 phones you should buy with your stimulus check. And again, for under the right circumstances. So yeah. A round of applesauce to those healthcare general outside workers, definitely. Around, I said a round of applesauce. I think because I fed my son applesauce earlier. A round of applause, definitely for them outside. Absolutely, definitely. Um, Smart connector on iPhone 12, but none of the YouTubers know what it's for. We'll see. I mean, it would be interesting. I don't know what that would be for. Maybe they will try to compete with Samsung in terms of a DeX kind of setup. Because it would be very interesting to, again, dock an iPhone and then use it like an iPad, right? On a bigger screen. And why not? It would definitely help Apple users for sure. And a lot of iPhone users don't necessarily have MacBooks because MacBooks don't sell anywhere near as much as iPhones do. So that could be a way to kind of like, look how good this is getting basically now. So I would think it's a very smart idea for Apple to do it. I don't know if they want to put that much time into it, but we'll have to wait and see. Why some video modes can't be stored on the SD card? Too big of a bit rate and file size. 4K 60 frames is definitely one of them. Some of the higher end slow motions, just the data needs to go too quick for an SD card to read. Remember, SD cards are still honestly pathetically slow compared to internal storage. Your internal storage is getting up to 800 and 900 megabits per second now, some over 1,000 now, to be quite honest, with UFS 3.1. But your version of that you're getting on your memory card is only at 90, 85, 150 is the fastest of actual read and write speed. So yeah, so it's too slow. That's why you don't have a high transfer rate for things that need it. So you have to do built-in storage. That's why. App Drawer in iOS 14, I'm hearing. I have not heard App Drawer will be. I've heard that there will be widgets, but in the actual screen, much like the iPad. But I've not heard about an App Drawer. I don't think that's happening. I would be shocked if it does. The specs on the Fold 2 are unacceptable. Sorry, like I said last time. Redmi Note 8 Pro, 64 megapixel camera, 66 RAM, 128 gig ROM, 4,500 milliamp battery. Won't get me 8-inch over $1,000, but it's only $250. Definitely a good point, and yeah, again from last time, I think there definitely is something to that. It's all depending on what you want, obviously, but it's definitely an interesting aspect to kind of always calculate. So yeah. Let's see. Tax-free income for frontline healthcare workers for the duration of the situation. I wouldn't say no to that for sure. Why don't you rant about this, Ricky? Well, so here's the thing. First of all, you can never really talk about camera megapixels because honestly, it doesn't mean as much. It more means the quality of the photo, and that you don't get till you get there. So I've seen 64 megapixel cameras that are crappy. I've seen, other ones that are really good and bad. But yeah, so it just depends on it. I might have to take a pause just so you know. I'll let you know if I do see it. But my receiver, it looks like it's dying. Actually, we'll pause really quick. I have to change the batteries on my wireless mic. So hold on 1 second. You'll see me, but just won't hear me for a second. Okay, so now we're back. Sorry, just saw that, and I was like, I don't want you guys to stop hearing me and then be like, hey, we can't hear you. All right. So yeah, in terms of, I don't know if I got to that. Like, why don't I rant about, like, the quality for specs whole thing? It really is. It really is different because, like, again, for mid-rangers, the Pixel's the best camera I've seen. I've tested it, I've used it, I've seen the results, and it's way better than every other camera 500 and under. So yeah, it really depends more than the megapixels. Sometimes it's also software is a big part of it. And I would say arguably in 2020 specifically, software is much more important. I mean, you have a 108 megapixel camera on the S20 Ultra that isn't giving us what we want, and that's again because of the fact that it's not giving us what we want, and it's just because of the software. By all means, that camera should be the best, but the software makes it so it's not. So yeah, so it's definitely things like that. It really is, software is king right now when it comes to camera. In terms of battery size, again, that can be optimized better than just getting a bigger milliamp battery. Storage, again, UFS 3.1, I would take any day at 120 gigabytes than 256 gig that's still eMMC, which is a slower type of built-in storage. So there's all these different things that go into it that you really have to take a look at, not just the generic specs that are front page specs. So all of that being said, it really kind of makes it, again, a whole thing about that. So yeah. Um, so that's why I don't go into a rant about it, is because I do, one, a lot of those companies like the Redmi series don't really come to the US. They're available sometimes for it, but they're usually like EU versions, so they're not going to be, the antennas aren't going to be great in the US. Plus, I don't like a lot of their launchers, to be quite honest, as well. Which, if you can switch it out with a Nova launcher, is great, but not all of them can. So that, all of those things being said, those are the things that kind of make me go between all of these things. Um, they do not have a trade-in program, OnePlus. Yeah, so they still don't, which kind of sucks, for sure. What do you think about the new Samsung Galaxy Chromebook? I think it's overpriced. I don't believe anyone should spend more than $600 at most for a Chromebook. I actually haven't seen what the final price was for it, so let me see. Galaxy Chromebook. I felt like it was close to 1,000 or something like that. Yeah, $1,000. Sorry, a Chromebook is not worth that. And I love the Chromebook Go. I thought it was really good. I still use it a lot. But I cannot say that I would think it is worth $1,000 for that one. Now you do have a trade-in program apparently with it, so that's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, I would say, you're better off going with the Chromebook Plus from last year. Curious what the trade-in. Okay, so now I'm actually thinking about something. What if I trade in my tab for the Galaxy Chromebook? Let me see. What kind of money would I get for my tablet? 250. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if you guys would want me to review it, because I do believe this does come with an OLED display, and that might actually make it interesting for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I've heard mixed things about this one, but it coming with the 13.3, because again, the main thing I use my tablet for is watching videos. If I can do that with Android apps, I might be inclined to get it. So let me know. Let me know in the comment section down below if you'd be interested in me reviewing the Galaxy Chromebook. I wasn't planning on it until this question was asked and I looked at the price and I saw they had at least a trade-in. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. All right. I've seen that's even Steven and Ozzy. I'm working. I was wondering the Jabra Active 75T or wait for the Galaxy Bean Buds. Again, the big thing that obviously the 75Ts won't have is definitely going to be the wireless charging. It's hard to say. I mean, for me, Samsung would really have to bring it because the 75Ts are way better in my opinion than the Galaxy Buds. Like way better. It's not even like I have both. Listening to, I can immediately hear the difference. So it would, Samsung would have to do a huge leap. Again, they did a better one. Like the Buds Plus were good, much better than the original Buds, but just on the same league. Is Apple's new SE the best budget phone on the market? I would say it's definitely one of them. I would say it's top 3 for sure, for sure. But things like not having OLED really kind of like, but wireless charging is such a big thing that no other one has. So it's like, I'm torn on it. It's really, yeah. For a second, you thought you wrote applesauce instead of applause. Is that a thing? Yeah, you have to give someone applesauce to really let them know that you appreciate them. Did Ricky talk about the new best new product made by Apple, the Apple Wheel? Yeah, no. I talked about the iPhone SE for sure. Will the Galaxy Fold 2 have an S Pen? No, that's what our first article was about. If you go back to the beginning of the video, we talked about it. It looks like the Fold 2 will now no longer have an S Pen. It looks like Samsung dropped it. I would argue too, the thing that I think is more practical of a reason they dropped it is because they want to get it out by the time they wanted to get it out by, and they're afraid they would have to push it back if they wanted to add an S Pen. I would take till the end of the year to get an S Pen, but that's just me. What is a good NSA disk station? Are they worth getting or overpaying for cloud storage? Whew, that's a big thing right now. I had looked into it a few months ago when I was thinking about like updating all my stuff because I currently do not have a NAS system. I have 3 external hard drives that I back up everything, all my past computers on, and I buy like a new one every 3 to 5 years, so that kind of like I have a fresh start one, and that's how I back up everything. So I back up probably once every 6 months. I try to do. And that way, you know, you feel safer. You have everything backed up. My wife's Dell crashed last 3 months ago, I think. And luckily I was able to back up everything before. Most likely, unfortunately, I haven't fixed it yet. Probably going to reformat the whole thing, and then again, luckily I have everything backed up already. Can you do a rant video on spam bots on YouTube? Have they been going around a lot lately? I haven't noticed personally on mine. Luckily, I have a great moderator in Quiet Storm, and I forget Alex's new name. I think Rubble. But yeah, but like I have great moderators that kind of keep track of it for me. Bring me back the Xbox controller days. Hold on, grab some more batteries. Yeah, right. Like, hold on. Oh God, what was the abbreviation for away from keyboard? Away from AFK. something like that. When you were gone from like Counter Strike, like you had to go like away from or be right back, BRB of course, but there was something else away from keyboard or away from computer. Think I'd still wait till the Note 21 for some good things. I mean, if graphene batteries come next year, that would be great. I would be very happy. Hi, Ricky. Why don't Samsung give us a higher bit rate of video capturing so we can get better video on their phone? I see compression where iPhone 4K looks as good as their 8K video. I mean, it's definitely arguable. I don't know why they don't. It's how Samsung's doing it, which it's not necessarily that I agree with it. It's just, yeah, I wish they would. I mean, who knows? Hopefully they'll do that on the Note. I think Note will have a lot of more software upgrades than anything else from comparing to the S20 Ultra. How early do cell phone case makers get specs on their new iPhone? I mean, we're gonna start seeing stuff for the new iPhone probably in June. That's when it usually starts coming around. So yeah, I believe that'll still happen. But yeah, definitely something we'll see. Case manufacturers, typically they get, well, see, they don't get specs. They get the outline of it, right? So you know the screen size typically and things like that from it, but not other specs really. I guess how many cameras and things like that sometimes. But overall, yeah, I would say they're going to get it soon. We'll see. But yeah. When the whole pandemic, I feel that word's safe to say now. Pandemic is okay to say. Thing burns out. What are the first couple of things you want to do? The first thing I would do, and maybe it's just, because of how much she has been so great through all of this, I would want to drop off the kids at grandma's house and take my wife out to a really nice dinner. She has just been so amazing through all of it that that's probably the first thing I would want to do. Yeah, that would be the first thing I'd want to do. I mean, just going out again. Like I like going out to dinners on the weekends. I like just I like socializing. I like talking to people and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know how it's all going to turn out. I'm very curious to see. I don't know. What are some of the first things you guys are looking forward to? I kind of bring that question back to the chat. What are you looking forward to do the first thing when all this stuff is over, when everything is safe and we can go? Oh, another thing is going out to the movie theaters. God, do I miss that? I miss going out to the movie theaters so much. I was a person that I saw 1 to 2 movies every month, so I was definitely a movie theater person. So yeah, that is one thing I will love to go and see. I'm so glad I invested in AMC stock so far right now. That went up and it spiked up just perfect timing. Yeah. Let's see. I would rather you get whatever new Samsung tablet's going to come out, trade in for that. Yeah, so I mean, Samsung, the S7, we'll see when that comes out. The only thing is the S7 will probably be, I'll probably get less of a trade from my S4 by then, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully I'll at least get 200. Right now it's at 250 I get for my tablet. So yeah. Let's see. Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 worth it. I want a good screen and speakers for video. That is perfect what it's for. Perfectly what it's for. I would even argue I don't know if screen or sound was improved from the S4 to the S6. But I would check that difference out because that could be a big difference to it. I still wonder how well an S Pen would work on a flexible display. I think as long as it has the new glass, quote unquote, that the Flex did, the Z Flex did, I think it'll be fine. Rudy currently. Thanks for the call. Yes. I would argue that the S Pen is useful. There are older phones that work with it even if the current Samsung phone is not adding it yet. I love the S Pen. I miss it so much. I really the S series time of year is always a struggle for me because I want to get the latest phone. I want to get, whatever new thing this time. I wanted to get the Zoom, which I was a little disappointed with. But I want to get the latest features that Samsung is throwing in. And like I look at my wife's Note 10 and like the selfie is way better on the S20 series, like way better. Video taking, of course, it's way better. But so things like that, I'm like, man, I really love the new stuff. But man, do I miss the S Pen. For me, again, it's a thing that most people might not use, but there are certain places where you cannot highlight text with your finger. You can always do that with an S Pen, always. And I miss it so much, so much. But yeah, my B-Day is coming up in a couple of days. I'm not going to say the type of party because I don't want to get flagged, but happy birthday. My mom just passed her 70th birthday, and luckily I was, obviously we couldn't do anything big for her to do, so I was able to do like a video montage. I was able to get the family in on it. So basically, like I opened the video like this and told her, hey, I got a few people to wish you happy birthday and a few family members, and then it ended with her grandkids wishing her happy birthday, and she loved it. So I was very happy to do that for my mom in this time where I couldn't do much else for her, but get her a cake and we got her some balloons, me and my brother. At least I was able to come over with the mask on, with the gloves on, and at least do that for her and give her that video, played it on her TV. She thought I was fixing her TV, which was kind of funny, and then I streamed the video on it with Samsung TV to a Samsung smartphone. Yes. Will Samsung be sending out an update for the 90 hertz motion smoothness soon? 90 hertz motion smoothness. Oh, you mean instead of the 120? I don't know if they'll do that. I don't know if they have plans to do that. It'd be cool. Oh, so romantic, lol. Ricky, Ricky, the romance guy. Always, if you're talking to someone back in the day, just tilting your head does wonders. Um, as soon as this thing is over, I want to go on a cruise ship. Oh, I am actually with you on that. Me and my wife love cruises. Yes, I would absolutely love to do that for sure. Same, while since I've been to the movies lately, even before everything went on. Yeah, for sure. I miss the movies. I miss the popcorn, the chairs, everything about it. Getting a haircut. Luckily, I am safe in that part. I'm able to cut my own hair pretty easily, so I'm very safe in that aspect. Thank God. Do you think the V60 is a better deal than the OnePlus 8? Want the OnePlus 8 Pro, just can't afford full price, right? Um, I mean, I think it's comparable. I think it depends on what carrier you're getting it with and what currently is a better price, right? I think both are carried by Verizon and T-Mobile, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it depends on which one is the better bang for your buck right now. But I know, like, I've heard, like, Juan Carlos Bagnell, love the guy. He has really done a lot of great videos on the LG V60. Check those videos out for really in-depth knowledge on it. I reached out to LG. I have not heard back from them, so I don't think we're getting the V60, unfortunately. But I even shudder to think, like, if the guy still has his job. Like, that was the other thing. I was like, the contact. I'm like, hopefully you still, are, yeah. But in terms of LG V60 or the OnePlus 8, it's hard for me to say, right? Because I have neither phone. I know one of our viewers last week told me he's had nothing but issues with the LG V60, and he was disappointed in the quality. So obviously, I had to take that into account. With OnePlus, I've never really had any issue, except I think their camera's lackluster. I hear it's pretty good on the Pro, but basically the same as last year on the 8, which I don't think that's really that good. So yeah, those are my opinions on it. I think the 8 probably doesn't have isn't good enough for people that really shoot a lot of photos. In that case, I would go with the LG V60. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. LG V60 T-Mobile. What is the price of the LG V60 at T-Mobile? They still have a BOGO deal only. God, LG, why don't you discount it? Give me like a good trade-in. I would so trade in, like I would trade in my McLaren. I would totally trade in my OnePlus McLaren for an LG V60, but they don't have any good trade-ins right now. But yeah, so it's the same price, but it looks like you get the dual screen with it, if I'm not mistaken. I would say if you get the dual screen with it, I would probably go with the LG just because I love that dual screen. But again, I don't have either one. So keep that in mind. I'm literally basing this on things I've heard here and there for the most part and things I feel I can trust. Hi Ricky, what will you recommend between the OnePlus 8 Pro base model and the Samsung Note 10 Plus? I found online for $640 unlocked brand new. Okay, you have a lot of stuff between that. So overall, I would probably say the Note 10 is still going to have a better. Yeah, I would say it's still probably going to have a better camera. I think battery actually might go to the 8 Plus Pro. Speed should go to the 8 Plus Pro, but I really feel that like the Note 10 Plus, I never had an issue with speed ever. I like the software better on Samsung's. Many people like the software better on OnePlus. I just think, especially if you have good lock on Samsung, it is way better than any other version of Android. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Very great. Congratulations to your mother. Thank you for that. I'll be hitting 36 good time to use 51st date questions. Thank you for reminding me about that. About that MFX. If you're wondering what they're talking about, of course, every week I always pitch 51st date questions. It is a great dating app that is just lots of fun. Definitely, obviously recommend it. Basically, the idea is to play a game and with your significant other or person you're dating for the first time. Maybe you see a person across the street that lives across the street from you and you think they're cute. Why don't you tell them, hey, let's play this game? And you can play with them. So yeah, it's really fun and it's just a great game. And definitely think that anyone that plays it will have a fun time getting away from everything that's going on. 51st date questions, link in the description for Android and iOS. Who did your haircut? I did. I did my haircut. I've always, when back in the day before I had long hair, I always did my own haircut. Basically just a one all the way around. I have this thing that kind of makes it easy to line up your ears and your the back of your neck. So yeah, I've just done it all myself. Simple, easy, a one all the way around. This time I did a little bit more layered. I did a one, 1.5 basically, and a 2. It's kind of grown a little bit quicker. But yeah, I was planning on cutting my hair basically closer to the summer, but because of everything going on, my hair was out of control and needed to be cut. And couldn't go to a barber, so did it myself. It was a lot. Like I had like this much hair, I think, that I cut off. Like it was a pretty good amount. Slicked back, of course. S Pen's also a thing to consider with the One Plus for sure. I mean, I love my S Pen for sure. Shall I wait for the Note 20 or just go for the S20 Ultra? I would definitely wait for the Note 20, in my opinion. I would definitely wait for that. If anything, the S20 Ultra might be way better with software updates. But right now, the S20 Ultra is still in the middle of getting software updates, so I would definitely wait on that if I were you. Leo said 5G wouldn't be anything for 2 years, so I saved money and bought the Note 10 Plus. Missing on anything now? It depends on where you're getting it from. Like, again, I think right now mid-band and low-band 5G are worth it, in my opinion. I think they're much better quality. Millimeter wave 5G is garbage, and yeah, that won't be ready for 5 years, not 2 years. 2 years is too soon. Millimeter wave 5G will not be relevant until 5 years, if that. Basically, the main thing about millimeter wave is line of sight. So if this lapel mic is my smartphone, and this is the tower, that blocks it. I am getting no 5G. Just that simple. It really is pathetic how useless it is, in my opinion. Where is HTC? Before all this, who knows where they are now, but before all this, HTC got a new CEO at the end of last year that said he wanted to bring back HTC to their pristine level that they used to have. We haven't seen it yet, so we'll have to wait and see if they will be able to. Believe me, Ricky, I'm using the Redmi 8 Pro for $250. It's amazing. Plus, you can get Nova Launcher. That's really cool. Thank you for letting me know that. Got to use it once to understand the leaps from 250 of $500 smartphone or $1,500. Got it. Yeah, I mean, again, I have been interested. I don't know if you were the first person that mentioned it a while back, but I have been interested since I've heard about it. But yeah. Best smartphone right now? I really don't know. I think overall, on the Android side, I would give it to the S20 Plus for Samsung. Really good quality. I haven't had any issues with the quality of it on this one. Doesn't have the zoom that I wanted, that I was promised, I feel like. Zoom is, again, not just, especially compared to the Ultra. The Ultra was way better at zoom. But everything else, I mean, it's fast. It doesn't have a delay. It doesn't have any issues. Takes great photos. Takes great selfies. Takes great wide angle. Takes amazing video. Very little to complain about it. HDR, I think still the best one you're getting is going to be Pixel. When I was doing my son's 6-month photos, the S20 Ultra that I had at the time definitely was not as good. Again, that was, I think, only on the first software update for the camera, so they've had 3 total since then. But it really was just nowhere near as good. So I had to use the Pixel, and I had to use my Lumix camera to do my son's photos. But overall, I would say the S20 Plus is probably the best one you can get. It has dropped in price too, as well. So it's $1,200 in most places now. So that is definitely more beneficial than if you can get a trade-in or something like that, or stuff obviously better. But yeah, that I would say is the best one overall right now. And then for the iPhone, I would obviously say the 11 Pro Maximilian. Nice plug. I'm going to use it. Thank you. I would appreciate it. A 50 State question sponsored by Rigsby. RSCKY is not responsible for any results of non-advantages for you. Yes, thank you. So obviously, we weren't going to be able to go to the movies, so there is a way to see a movie, legally, of course, that just came out. Will Rigsby ever be available on the Google Play Store? one can only hope, one can only dream. I don't think with the software engineers that I've met, they still don't understand Rigsby. They don't understand the greatness of Rigsby. So the search continues. Search continues. I think Silicon Valley is going to have a bidding war over Rigsby, quite frankly, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah. Yeah, if you guys don't know, one good advice, maybe I should do a video on it. I don't know if I have done a video on it, but Movies Anywhere is such a great service to have. It's basically if you want to buy movies, but have it across all your devices, right? Your Android devices, your iPhone devices, everywhere. It doesn't matter where. Movies Anywhere is a great thing that connects every Disney studio movie, every Universal movie, every Warner Brothers movie. I think the only ones that it doesn't cover is MGM, Lionsgate, and Paramount. I think those are the only ones it doesn't cover. Sony is covered under it, but yeah, those ones are the only ones that aren't covered. But for everything else, basically, you buy one movie, you buy it at the cheapest price, right? Because they have deals every week. So sometimes, like, what did I just buy? A movie, Half Baked. It was old 90s comedy. I bought that movie, and where it was $14 and $15 on Vudu, iTunes, and what else? And Google, it was $5 on, I forget if it was Amazon or on Microsoft store. So I was like, well, yeah, I'll just buy it from here, and then I get it on all my streaming services. So I get, it's a really good thing that I recommend going, and yeah, really great to have. And you get the cheapest deal, whichever company has the cheapest deal right now. All right, guys, I think we will call that a show. Thank you guys again, always so much for watching again. I will try to be bringing out more content this week. We have the budget phone one, and yes, I'm still working on the 10 hidden features video, but it's definitely longer to do. Have 5 done so far, so making progress. Thank you guys always so much for watching again. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Make sure you give a thumbs up.
Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.